What's up and what's happening, TPE family? We're back with another episode of the TPE. And before I get started, I want to answer this question because I think some of you guys might be asking yourself, what's the difference between this and the daily dose? Well, in my coaching business, I look at the content that we provide here as a very important tool and an important resource to what it is that we are trying to accomplish with our clients going forward. And so this is a longer form. This is like really the podcast piece of our content that we have in our catalog of things that we discuss. And I like to bring on people who have different perspectives, that have different experiences to talk through just certain things. And so we've kind of dedicated that space to the TPE. Like, we're about to enjoy episode number 23 now with a very special guest, but I'll get into that later. But I wanted to first kind of clear that up because I think, as I was thinking about it, that might have came across a little confusing. But the daily dose is, really meant to help act as daily motivation, daily inspiration, daily just small bits of coaching to help us pivot into our next, getting a little bit better each and every day. Really speaking back to when we did our book study at the beginning of the year, when we were talking about atomic habits and just chasing getting incrementally better. 1% better every day is going to pay dividends over the course of the year. So the daily dose is really our daily dose of leadership to help us get just a little bit better each and every day. But these are reserved for, again, longer form conversations that I have the chance to connect with people that I've been just so fortunate to be able to run across, man. Just, having great relationships and, people just intersecting with other folks, man, is pretty awesome. But before I jump into this episode, I want to direct your attention to tpenow.com. As I mentioned earlier, our coaching and consulting business, we're really starting to pick up in terms of what we're able to do, what we wanted to provide to our clients. And so if you guys own a restaurant, if you're a part of a Chick-fil-A, if you're wanting to increase your leadership or entrepreneurship in any form of capacity, and you're struggling with leadership, you're struggling with just things like labor percentages, food cost percentages, things that are necessary to run a great business, and you're asking yourself, well, how can I get better in this area, or is there anybody out there that can help us? The TPE is here for that as well. Again, just head over to tpenow.com and book a discovery call, and we'll definitely would love to be able to connect with you. And the discovery call is free, 100% free. So we'll love to connect with you guys to be able to help you pivot into your next. Okay. And so also, there you'll find leadership courses. Also, you'll find a way to, and we're going to push this out there, to join our community beyond just what you see on the different platforms and networks. We want to try to generate our own community where other leaders are talking about things that they have going on in their organizations. And so we can all learn from each other, and we all can gain a perspective that will help us pivot into our next. Also, there are a blog post there for myself and the other people who are affiliated with this brand. Actually, if you can check out our latest one by one of our coaches, Ashley Allison. She is speaking about balancing being a mother and trying to be a leader in the organization as well. So very unique perspective, juggling all those plates, being a mom, being a wife, being a leader, of other people. And so she speaks through her experiences in that area. And if that is applicable to you, head over to tpenow.com and you can enjoy that content absolutely free. Just subscribe to that to the site, and you'll be able to get more updates from myself and the other coaches and other folks who are attached to this brand. As you guys may know, my wife and I, we have an interior design business as well. As many of you guys might be able to see that SS logo behind me, and so I think she has a unique perspective on business and also being a mother and being a wife, trying to deal with. So there's a lot of great commentary and content coming to the site. So definitely subscribe, and so you can be on top of what's going on in the business. And if you want to be a part of the business and you want some services from us, definitely head over to tpenow.com and let's start a conversation. So without further ado, I want to introduce TPE number 23. And on today's episode, we have a gentleman who is a John C. Maxwell certified speaker. Actually, he has a conference coming up in October. I just want to say it's the Elevate conference. I think tickets are still available in the Houston area. So I'll be sure to try to, link up something in the bio here or the description so you can get some information about that. But a very special guest, somebody who I didn't know personally at first, and we've been trying to set this up for weeks now, and we finally got a date nailed down. And just so happened, and I'll just say this as a disclaimer, this was shot during a storm here, so internet capacity, was faint, and it actually just went ahead and went all the way out. And so we were dealing with that, man, and so we might consider doing a part 2 to this. But this conversation is still a great one. I think that if you're somebody who's wanting to increase your leadership and increase your capacity in your organization, this is definitely a conversation that you want to take notes on, get some commentary going. It's going to provoke you to ask questions about yourself in terms of the things that we get a chance to speak on this episode. So I want to introduce to some, because this man speaks all over the world, and he is I think he's a dog at what he does. And so without further ado, I'm going to welcome Tolu Areola to the TPE. Enjoy the show. What's up and what's happening, TPE fam? We are back with another great episode of the Pivot Experience. Here at the Pivot Experience, the TPE, we're all about helping you, young leaders, seasoned leaders, entrepreneurs, managers, and just people in general who want to get better each and every day. This podcast is designed to curate experiences from other seasoned leaders in the space to help take their experiences, take the things that they know, and help you get to the next level in your life. And today is no different. I have a very special guest that's going to be on the podcast today. I'm not going to take up too much of your time introducing this individual because I'm going to let him speak for himself. But I just know this comes from another mutual connection that we have in our barber, Chris. It seems to be a running theme here. I keep intercepting people that Chris kind of brings our way. But I'm going to introduce Mr. Tolu to the TPE. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us, to just help our people that listen to this broadcast and more get better. And so I just want to just start out by saying that thank you, and then just how are you doing today? How are things going for you?
Thank you so much, Alex. I'm so honored to be here. I know we've been trying to make this thing work for weeks now, and I'm so glad to be here. And I love TPE. I've gotten a couple of podcasting. I'm like, wow, you're doing amazing things. So thank you so much for having me. And by the way, I'm doing fantastic in this Texas heat.
Yeah, it is warm out there, man. I tell you that for sure. If you're not from around here, we're seeing 105, 106 plus days, and so man, it's pretty hot out there. But I just want to just jump straight into it and just let our audience know, who are you, what do you do, just let's just start there.
Oh, fantastic. Again, my name is Tolu Areola, and really, I help people increase their effectiveness so they can hit their peak performance in life and in business. And I've been doing this for over 2 decades. I've had the opportunity to lead, train, facilitate, and even consult with companies, organizations. And so I'm really in the personal development and leadership growth space.
Awesome, awesome. So, all right. So you're helping people get the best out of their lives, and
That's right.
how did you even get to this space? I mean, that's a I don't know if I ever grew up saying that that's what I wanted to do. What was the evolution of this field of yours?
Yeah, my journey has actually been an interesting one. I started, way back when I was 19. I literally discovered my why, my big why, because I had a mentor that really helped me get there. And if you remember way back then, he gave me a cassette tape. If you remember, Well, I'm dating myself right now, one of those.
Yeah.
It was a cassette tape by a man named John Maxwell. It was called How to Be a Real Success. And literally, that tape changed the trajectory of my life, put me in the lane that I'm right now, and I've been on that lane for over 2 decades. That tape was literally talking about building the foundation of your life on four pillars. And I've done that my whole life, and it has brought me to where I am right now.
Awesome, man. And so you said this cassette from John Maxwell. So I'm not familiar with any cassettes. Now I know about DVDs. I know about DVDs, but not cassettes. So if you don't mind, man, just for my own personal interest, what were those four pillars?
Wow. So he was talking about the four pillars that spell the acronym REAL, REAL. And he was talking about if you can get great at relationships, which was the R, because the single most important factor that determines the outcome of one's life are the connections that we choose to allow in our lives, or the ones that we choose to belong in. And he was talking about how relationships are like buttons on an elevator. Like, there's one that will take you right to the very top, and some will take you down. So connecting with the right people is key. And then the letter E, that stands for equipping. It was talking about you having a growth plan, growing yourself, equipping yourself, because the limits that we find ourselves in life is really a pointer to where we still need to grow at. The more you grow, the better you get in life. And then he talked about the letter A, standing for attitude. We get to choose our attitudes. Your attitude is a choice that you make. How you show up every single day determines how that day is going to go. And then lastly, he was talking about leadership, which is the letter L. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Regardless of who you are, whether you're a leader in your home, as a father or dad at home, in school, at work, whether you lead from the top, middle, or below, if you can raise your leadership edge, then you can raise your effectiveness. But your effectiveness is limited by your leadership lead. So I took those four pillars and intentionally worked on them every single day for the last 20 years. And I'm telling you, the person I became was amazing. It was noticed by the people around me. It was noticed by like organizations. And back in 2015, I decided to just go into full time doing this as a profession, coaching and consulting for firms and organizations. And I've been doing that ever since.
Awesome, man. That's an incredible story. So you had really did you do anything else previous to this? Like anything else?
So funny, I I went to college and graduated as an architect.
Wow.
And my plan was to design buildings, to design structures. And when I graduated 2001, I told you I discovered my big why after getting that cassette tape. And basically what I came to was, instead of designing buildings, I need to help build and design people,
Bro.
because people, regardless of the organization that you're in, people are the greatest resources that we have. And regardless of what you do, we're all in the people business. So when we focus on building people, connecting with people, influencing people, we can make the world a better place.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so all right, I want to pause a bit on your professional sense because I think we can just keep going here. I want to know about you personally. Just let's can if you don't mind. Uh,
Oh,
if you don't mind, just where are you from?
yeah,
Your
yeah.
family. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, my parents are originally from Nigeria. I was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I grew up there, I stayed maybe a few years there, and then we moved back to Nigeria. We came back in the 80s and kind of landed Gainesville, Florida. We lived there for a couple of years, and then we went back again as a family because my dad is a professor of geography. So he gets to, and he focuses more on the information system side of things. So he had a lot of opportunities to come and teach in University of Michigan, University of Florida, um, Tennessee, Austin P in Tennessee. So that gave me the opportunity to kind of travel with him. But back in 1995, he decided to just send me back here by myself since I was a citizen. And I came back in 95, landed in Houston, Texas. And I've been in Houston, Texas for the last 28 years. I never left. Went to University of Houston, graduated as a Cougar, go Cougs, and met my wife, who's also, Nigerian, born in Colorado. But I met her when she visited from Arizona because she went to Arizona State. And so through certain things, I my life was really defined by the people that I got myself involved with. And a particular person invited me to a church, and got connected to that church, and my life changed. That was where I discovered my big why. I followed my whole journey through the church. I mean, I led at every level of the church, right from the bottom to the middle till I even became, a lead pastor. And so I've lived my life in the ministry, and I've also lived my life in the marketplace. And I'm telling you, right now, being a dad of a college student and a high school senior, I believe I'm living my best life right now.
Awesome, awesome. So, are you currently pastoring?
Yes, I still pastor. That you don't walk away from because that's a life's calling. Yeah, I'm an executive pastor right now, and I
Oh,
also run my coaching and consulting business.
awesome. That's pretty cool. So, getting back into the leadership consulting piece, I just a question for you. Being that you've been in the market for so long, what are some of the common opportunities or challenges that you see most leaders face out in the marketplace?
So most leaders that I've encountered, and generally I think it's for most leaders across the board, their approach to running their business, they always have a tactical approach. They're always focusing on operations, on the, you know, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. And the biggest gap that they have is really that, because you find out that they are working in their business rather than working on their business. And when you do that, you find out that you are limited in the results and the effectiveness that you get. But when you have those leaders who decide to be strategic in their approach, all right, and focusing on leadership is a strategy, and that strategy is better than you trying to be the one running things by yourself. So when you're tactical in the approach, you're thinking about you doing things. When you're strategic in the approach, you're thinking about building teams, getting people on board with you so that you can begin to multiply your success. Because if I can take my vision from me to we, I can multiply my results. I can multiply my effectiveness, and my outcomes will be a whole lot better. So I tend to help those leaders that are more, small to mid-sized business owners that their thinking is more like a mom and pop approach, where they're the ones doing everything. And I help them to have a strategic approach where they're thinking more like a supermarket approach, where they're building teams, creating departments, so that I can get more people to help them so that they can expand their business and their reach and their influence.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, that's good. Can you talk to me about maybe a client that you have had recently, and some successes maybe they've reached, and just how did that come about?
Oh, yeah, fantastic. This is a fantastic example that I have for you. It was a startup. I met this guy. I had done I had gone to San Antonio to do a talk for a group of entrepreneurs, and some guy heard me and he was so inspired by the talk. He goes back to work and goes tell his boss um, about me and about bringing me to the organization to kind of help their leadership and help their business. It's a small startup that is into building the community with their technology. And when I got there, it was just the CEO, this guy, and one other person. And again, they were just working in the business. Just three of them trying to do everything. They weren't thinking about building teams. They were just thinking about making this product work. So when I got to working with them, pretty much taking them through the coaching process. All right, the coaching process is helping you get where you are to where you want to be. And when they told me their dreams and their vision, and I said, well, do you see just three people getting you there? It said no. So we basically went through, they've been my clients right now for a little over a year and a half. So we went through a 6 month journey of helping them raise their leadership and the level of thinking that they bring to.
See, I don't know. I think you cut. You might have cut out on me for a second.
You.
There you go. I think you're back now. No, then you cut back out.
Uh,
You probably I think when you press something, it start and stop. But there we go.
All right, there we go. I got you.
All right, very
Now
good,
you're back.
very
You're
good.
back. Yeah. So I got this startup to start thinking about who they need to get on board on their teams rather than what they need to be doing. And that team expanded from just 3 people to over 12 people. They were able to launch their product. And right now, they're in the phase where they're working on getting even more funding so that they can expand the business. So, and they signed me up for another 12 months to engage my services. So that's a success right there for them.
That's awesome. That's incredible, man. Kudos to you for that, and just being able to churn those results are pretty good too, man. That's awesome. That you're running
Yeah.
your business and using those skills, and so now I want to shift gears a little bit and ask
Mhm.
about. Now I know you got a cassette tape from John Maxwell. How do you go from a cassette tape to speaking on stage with the man? I mean, how is that? To walk me through that process.
Well, look, listen, I always say this. Look, the biggest gap in the world is the room to grow. Right? And and that's why I always challenge people that when you focus yourself and stay on the growth lane, when you focus on growing yourself, you will open doors you never ever imagined. From that cassette tape, I didn't stop. I started reading his books. I started applying everything I was reading. And of course, the more you do that, you're going to grow. And the more you grow, the more you have the opportunity to add value to people. And I just started adding value to people, those closest to me, those who knew, like, and trust me. And I just started getting opportunities to speak. Of course, it started in the church. And then I found out that every principle I was teaching them was right out of the Bible and it was applicable in ministry and in business. So the business people that were hearing me speak in church would take the principles and go to their business and apply the principles and find out that it works. And then they decide to bring me in to speak at their businesses. And that just kind of opened, different doors for me. And and then I got reached out to by John Maxwell's team asking me to be on the team because when I started growing with his resources, of course, I would take his resources, read them, I will curate, talks from his resources and go teach it, right? Again, I didn't teach anything beyond relationships, equipping, attitude, and leadership. That was all I was doing, right? And then they reach out to me and say, would I like to be part of their team? And that I will have the rights and the license to use all of his materials. So now I won't have to worry about plagiarism or getting sued. But now I was getting a license to use all of its resources. So now I'm a certified Maxwell Leadership certified team member. I'm one of his executive programs leaders, and I also host his flagship a platform called Live to Lead. I'm one of the certified hosts. You can find that platform or program anywhere. We host a live event, and then we also host simulcasts, on in different cities in the world, and only us hosts can do that. So that has really allowed me to just touch and connect with people that um, I never imagined I would. And I think that's why I'm here too,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
our mutual connector, uh, Barbara, Chris, we were just talking about what I was doing, and he was also kind of very excited for me because when I was living at that side of town, I was brought in to do a huge consulting job with a church there, and that's how I connected with him, and he connected me with you, and now I'm on TPE.
Yeah, no, man, that is a really cool story. I don't think
Thanks.
that probably doesn't happen as often now as it may have used to happen, but that's pretty cool, man.
Well, it still does. It still does because I mean, collaboration today is the currency if you really, really want to succeed, and it still kind of works for me. I still get people call out and refer me, and I refer people too.
Oh, awesome, awesome, man. Yeah, no. Hopefully, we can exchange in that capacity at some point in time for sure.
That's,
Would definitely love to do that. So okay, so now, you've gotten brought into the Maxwell team, and you're a certified Maxwell team member, and you're on an executive team. What does that look like? On a day to day or quarter to quarter basis currently, and where do you see that going for you in the future?
Well, really, in a nutshell, it just gives me the opportunity to help more people. Again, we have a mantra that we say in the Maxwell Leadership team that we're people of value that add value to people, right? Doing things that add value to our world. Because the goal is really for us to help the world see that if the leader gets better, right, everything gets better. And we all have this leadership seed within us, and most people don't know, they've not tapped into it, so they're living seemingly under a glass ceiling. But we come in to help break and destroy that ceiling so that people can begin to maximize their potential. It's all, listen, we're all in a leadership race, we're all in a leadership journey. But if you don't know that you're on a journey, or you don't know you're in a race, then you become casual in your approach to life, and you live below your installed capacity. But if I can take the veil off and show you the greatness within you, show you the potential that you have. I always say that our potential is God's gift to us, but what we do with it is our gift back to God. And there's so much within people that they're not aware of. And one of the things that we do in my coaching business is to help people raise their awareness and see who they are so that they can live their best lives. And that's what you know living a really effective life and a leadership life is all about.
Okay, wow. Man, this has been awesome. This is a lot to kind of take in. I guess give me an opportunity or give me a time where you felt like you may have missed the mark, and what could you have done better? This might be. I'm sorry. This might be a bad question. But give me an instance where you felt like
No, no,
give me an instance
I
where you
got
felt like you just man, I wish I would have did this, or I wish I would have did that a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. So early in my own leadership journey, I wasn't really self-aware. Naturally, I am a very task oriented person. I'm not people oriented. So I'm all about let's get the job done and we keep going. regardless of what it takes, we get the job done. So in my leadership, I was focusing on just getting tasks done, and I was stepping on toes. I didn't care who it was. I was like a freight train coming through. Let's just get it done. And but the problem with that was I was getting stuff done, I was producing, but I left a long trail of hurt people. And that was when I came to that awareness that, look, I can't continue like this. Like, the greatest resources that we have are people. It was my mentor that told me that. He said that if you don't see people as valuable, you're going to run right through them. If you don't see people as valuable, you're going to use them. They said that people are gifts. People have value. Until you see value in people, then you never do anything to value them. So I had to intentionally shift my perspective of not just focusing on the task that needs to be done, but focus on people. And guess what? I started seeing people different. And one of the things that John talks about is put a 10 on people's heads, because when you do that, then you see value in them. I started helping people get their own results. And because I was doing that, now they were now helping me get my own results. And I'm telling you, it really changed my ministry and it changed my business. And I always say it 10x my business, because now I focus more on people than the tasks. So when I focus on people and I help them get their own outcomes, they turn around and help me get my own outcomes.
Awesome, man. That was great way to answer that question for sure. And I'm gonna say this is my last question. What would you say are your top three values as a leader?
Oh, fantastic question. I actually have it. I have my values on my board. I don't go anywhere without my values. Okay. I call them my priorities. They're faith, family, growth, my health, my attitude, and leadership. Faith, obviously, because I'm a person of faith. Um, I believe that without that, I really can't get far in life. So I don't force my faith on people. I always tell my clients, hey, if you're not a person of faith, I still love you. I still love you so much, because that's what my faith is about, is loving you. And my family is my backbone. I wouldn't be where I am today without my family. My wife and my kids, they've really supported my dreams, they've supported my vision, and they've trusted my leadership. And without that, they actually are the proof of what I do. They are the proof of what I do. And I'm so proud of my kids. Everywhere they go, they talk about how well brought up they are. They talk about their leadership. They talk about how you know great of young kids that they are. And for me, that goes a long way. That proves the work that I'm putting in. And then lastly, my growth. Again, the only guarantee that you will be better tomorrow than you are today is if you grow. We've been designed to love comfort.
TPE family, I am so sorry. That episode was getting so very good. As I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, this recording was occurred during a time where we was having a storm and we started having some severe internet issues. And so I apologize to each and every one of you guys who was into the episode, because we was just really getting into some concepts and some content that I think was really good. But I think we got a lot so far. I can't wait till me and Tulu get together and shoot part two of this. It's going to be pretty difficult because it's hard to get our schedules aligned. He is very busy. As he mentioned, he does coaching and he does a lot of different things to help people move along in their business and in their organization. So, man, be sure to continue to tap in with the TPE as we continue to bring relevant experience and relevant guests to our platform to help you get better and to help you pivot into your next. I hope you guys enjoyed what of the episode that we was able to deliver in this time. And so until next time, TPE family, peace.